So let's say you put the Rangers in the same division with the Diamondbacks. Are we doing a DH in Texas and no DH in Arizona? Are teams that play, if I'm an American League team and I play National League ball against the National League, but there's more American League teams, do I have the advantage? You know, there's so much that has to go into it. See, and look, I understand everybody wants to get back to making money. I do. And I love all the stuff people are doing to try to be creative and come up with ways to make money and make games viable and make the season viable and make everything come back. But if you alter it too much, to me, you're doing a disservice because you're not doing it changes too much. It doesn't change some things. It changes almost everything. So I'm looking at this right now, and in the one division we have the Cubs, the Sox, the Brewers, St. Louis, Kansas City, the Reds, the Twins, the Braves, the Indians, and the Tigers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 teams. But you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams from one conference. Oh, I say conference. I'm so in football. You know, how are you going to balance that out? Division. How are you going to balance that out? And if you go, okay, fine, we have the exact same amount. We have the exact same amount of National League teams as we do American League teams. Perfect. We're going to each play 50-50. Perfect. But you don't play 50-50. Remember, they changed the schedule. So you play more – National League teams play more National League games. American League teams play more American League games. That's the way their teams are built. So now if you ask them to go 50-50, someone's going to have an advantage.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I like it. I mean, listen, I want to see sports, but I don't want it so altered that it changes the course of the way that things look. If we go a certain amount of time and it just can't come back, then, yeah, start making the changes. But just to throw something together, to throw 70, 80 games together, just so we can get baseball, just so we can crown some type of champion, I mean, there's too much that can go wrong.
Yeah. So there's so many dynamics that come into play that's not – I don't see it as a possibility that this can work out as the way that they're wanting to or planning it out to be. Because you hit all the major points, and rather just wait and have sports come back when it's at the right time than having to put something together. Because at the same time, you're trying to put something together, get sports going, get these players back in shape, and getting them to play these games. And there's also possibility for injuries because they're not prepared. They don't have the regimen. They don't have their workouts and regimen in place, and so many things can, yes, possibly the way that it's set up can go right, but there's other things that can go wrong. You're willing to risk that with the players' health or anything else and be at a loss?
Yeah, that's my point. That's my point. I mean, how much are we going to change? Like, at what point do we say, okay, look, we want to keep doing stuff. We really do. But at what point do we have to say, can we get these games? And then where are the players? And where are we going to do this? How are we going to pod this out? Where is everyone? I mean, if you're in Chicago, and they're talking about playing these games, I know that idiot that runs the state of Florida is like, I want to fill these stadiums up in Florida. Well, you have an advantage, buddy. No one sees the Marlins and no one sees the Rays. They're already doing social distancing in the fans because no one goes to the game. But you may want to do it, and you may not give a crap about people. But if you play for the Yankees, you want someone to get on a plane in a city that's just having the hardest time with the coronavirus, and you want them to get on a plane from New York, fly to your city, stay at a hotel, and then go play at a ballpark? I mean, a 2-year-old would tell you that's stupid.
Not worth
So
it.
it's not.
Yeah, like we even see that the Hall of Fame even postponed their inductions for the year to next year. So we're going to have 2 classes being inducted in Cooperstown. That's how much they're thinking of this with the immense amount of crowds. And yes, they could have the possibility of doing it all virtually online, streaming whatever it is that they can go that route. But it also takes away from it, of course, being the event that it is, and they're just willing to wait than to take the risk or do something that's out of their, out of what it is that they usually do, because of how big of an impact it is both ways.
Exactly.
I just have to wait longer and, hope, yes, I want sports back, but not that bad. So I'm willing to wait, and and we have players also saying, like Trout and Kershaw and others. Those are the ones that have voiced this. There's no vaccine. There's no precautions that you can say definitively that you're not. You go out there, you play a game, or you're out there with fans and these crowds that you're not going to be contacted with the virus. So they're even saying no. They're not even wanting to go out there, and probably even if there would be.
Even if there are no fans, you know what? For the first couple games, honestly, I believe it would be like no big deal. But by game 9, 10, even though it becomes kind of the norm, it gets hard. And I've never met an athlete, never in my life, and fans don't play. They don't, obviously. They're fans. But I've never met an athlete that said, I love it. It gave me more to shut them fans up. It gave me more to see our fans behind us. And so just to go out there and play, it's different. I remember covering the Suns game against the Oklahoma City Thunder a couple years ago when Russell Westbrook was on that tear to become the first guy since the Big O to get a triple-double in the season. And at this game, everyone was there. All the ESPN must have credentialed about 9 people that game, just in case it happened in Phoenix. And I remember just like it was yesterday, Devin Booker was guarding him a couple different times, and he didn't let him get a shot off, let him get an assist. And he turned around to the fans, and the fans are going nuts. And Booker started cooking too. And he had hit like 2 or 3 threes in a row. And he's cooking. Then he's on Westbrook, and Oklahoma City takes a timeout. And Booker turns to the fans, and the fans are going crazy, and he's, getting them pumped up by putting his hands in the air, and then he says, "Not in my effing house. Not tonight. It's not going to happen in my effing house." And the fans are, Could you imagine if there were no fans for that? That's a pickup game at Lifetime.
Yeah.
That's a pickup game at Lifetime. Yeah, they made, why go to the arena? Just play the games at Lifetime. Play them at LA Fitness. Doesn't matter at that point.
So yeah, we'll wait and see and what happens. And NCAA has decided to let its athletes profit. So something that has been a talk for some time now, and now we're going to see it come to life, and it's beginning in the 21-22 season. So I think this is great for the athletes, for the students, and get something out of it. They're exposing their skills themselves, and NCAA is profiting. But what are these players getting out of it? A scholarship. That's it. Nothing more. When they're the face of the college, university, and they're not getting nothing more than, yes, they're getting the recognition and the possibility of being going into the NBA or NFL or whatever league. But what if that doesn't happen, or if that's not the route that they want to take? Your thoughts?
I think NCAA is full of shit. You might have to beat that part out, so I apologize. But they are. It's too late. It's too late. You've lied to people forever about, oh, it's a college game. They should be doing it for the love. They should be doing it for the education. You've lied to people forever. Now, let me tell you what they did. Let me tell you what they're doing right now. So, if you're married to someone and you're cheating on them all the time, but no remorse, and then when they find out you're cheating, they say they're gonna leave you. Then you go, you know what? I won't cheat no more. I'll take you to dinner. It's too late. I'm gone now. Dinner and promises mean nothing. That's what the NCAA has done to these kids forever. They wouldn't let them do anything. They want to suspend a kid for 3 games, because he got a government assistance check, his financial aid check. And after he bought his books, he had money left over. And the kid at the store said, oh, you're cool. What happens when you do this, just use your money to buy your Scantrons because you'll need them, buy your pencils and buy all this other stuff. So he bought school supplies that he will need. And the NCAA suspended him because they said he should have sent the other like $100, $150 back. And that was a violation. And he bought personal stuff with it. But he bought school stuff. This is the crap they've been doing to kids forever. They suspended a kid for a game because someone gave him a ride in a golf cart from one side of the campus to another side of the campus. And their argument was a regular student when they got that same advantage. Sure, a regular student would if he knew the guy driving a golf cart. So they've been doing this crap to kids for so long. And now they want to come out and say, oh, well, you know what? You can make some money now. Just remind yourself, last year, the NCAA was the same organization full of the same words that I'm not going to repeat because I can't keep making you beat stuff out, that didn't even want to budge on giving people money when the state of California said they voted that kids can make money. They didn't want to budge on that. And then when they saw that they were going to be on the wrong side of history, then they said, fine, you can do it. Then they came out 2 months later after that and said, as long as it doesn't interfere with you still being deemed a student athlete. And now all of a sudden, out of the goodness of their heart, they're saying, okay, well, fine. You can get like this money and you too money. Come on now. I don't, that's disingenuous.
Yeah. So, and I don't think there's athletes getting money out of endorsements. How different is it from actually an athlete having a job at Burger King?
Well, I mean, look, I understand certain things. I do. You don't want a kid getting, a job at Ted's Tractors making $3,000 an hour when it's a $10 an hour job. I get that. But to me, you can't just keep putting these kids' likeness out there and not want to give them their money.
Yeah, they worked hard for it. They're doing all these things, putting themselves out there. They're putting in the effort and getting so many things out of it. And the ones who are eating it up and making the money and making that profit is NCAA, colleges, etc. And kids are getting nothing. It's all going to the program. It's all going to everybody else but them. Not fair.
Well, but see, and that's the whole thing. No one's asking the NCAA to pay them. All they're saying to the NCAA is, let us make our own money.
Well, yeah, that,
So it's crazy. It's dumb. NCAA is full of crap. How hard is it for you to beep out what I said?
Not at all.
All right, cool, because you should just leave it in for ambiance. Leave it in. Make it cutting. Make it cutting edge.
No big deal. So, but yeah, just like as them having a job and getting, profiting in some way from an endorsement, they have a right to it.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's our take on that tonight.
Yep, that's